welcome back to Coffee Talk. I've been away for a while, and I apologize about that. Just been going through quite a lot here lately. But I am back. Just make sure. Okay, just making sure that the stream audio isn't too long. And an unknown user followed me, and Raven from Nevermore 666 Doe followed me. Thank you. Now up to 18 followers. Yay! But yeah, I'm starting back on Coffee Talk. Gonna try getting back into a schedule of streaming, because for a while there with my job I was just work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep for about 2.5 weeks, and I just could not break out of that cycle, and it was so tiring. But now I'm able to break that, and so hopefully it works. But yeah, get back into it. I gotta remember everyone's voices. Looks like better with. Oh wait, I gotta check my Tomodachi stories. All the way to the bottom. Aqua. It's sometimes scary how so many things come into factor as you make a decision. It shouldn't be that hard, right? Lucas, I have tons to think about every day. And like how to make your timeline more fun. I could really use a good cup of tea right now. Also, I guess that means she's coming in. Bad traffic at Yale Street, avoid. Bailey's. What's that, dude? I can't remember my blue pad. I got quite a bit of the blue. Only 2 of the hibiscus. Man, that's a lot of hibiscus. Okay, and I'm not going to be looking through any more walkthroughs. I am going to be I know the last episode I looked up a walkthrough, but that's because I was screwing up that episode so bad, and I could not leave it at that. But I'm not going to continue looking back at the walkthrough, and at the end of the game it's going to be like, you know, the end game, and then I'm going to go through it completely again with the walkthrough to get like all the teas needed, all the drinks, all the coffees, everything, so I can get the best ending possible. And so that's the way I'm gonna do it. And so, and that way this first experience is, you know, a genuine experience, not just walk through follow. Looks like bad weather again tonight. Let's hope it doesn't bring bad tidings. It's been storming every single day here, apparently. Gotta get that yawning voice. Ooh. I don't know. I think it's a very nice color scheme. Well, I think it's lacking something. It's too dainty. Dainty. What would you like then? Red, black, and purple? That wouldn't be worst. Okay then, why not? But you have to commit to it. No takebacks this time. Bay. No, that's it's not her voice. Bay. I don't know. Maybe. Let's take a break from the topic. I only have time for a quick drink before I go back to work. And it's not like we're going to decide now anyway. Maybe that's the problem. How are we supposed to plan this wedding if we keep postponing every choice we need to make? Hey, not boss. Hey, not boss. What do you think? Pale green, lilac, and daffodil yellow, or red, black, and purple. Bae, don't put not boss on the spot. No, it's quite alright. It's just that I wouldn't know. This is your wedding. Your opinions matter, not mine. They're glaring daggers at me. Trouble is, we don't know what our opinions are. And when we do, we change our mind. It's like the centerpieces. Oh please, can we not talk about that now? I really thought we agreed on the cute cottagecore ones. The ones you spotted on Tomodachi. I mean, they were your pick in the first place. They were, but they are also too expensive. We have to be realistic. But weddings in general are expensive, especially when you want to have 200 guests. That's a low blow. I can't just disinvite my extended family. The key word is extended. Do you even know half these people? That's not the issue. If I invite one of them, I have to invite them all. It's like a domino effect. Besides, they'll be paying for part of the wedding. I still don't think they should. I can pull my weight. If we have to choose, I'd rather we have the beautiful things you like. Even if that means we'll have fewer guests. Well, if my family's not chipping in, we might not be able to afford either. I feel like I'm screwing up her voice. It's kind of closer to us, so... Thanks for the vote of confidence. I don't want our wedding to just be a random meal with a bunch of people we're not even that close to. And I said I'll make sure we can afford a dream wedding. Or die trying. I don't want you to. Uh-oh, someone's calling. Saved by the bell. Saved by the bell. That's work. I really can't linger. I think I'll have that drink now, Monat Boss. Of course, what can I get you? Something that will keep me awake. I still have work to do and my head hurts. So I guess a strong coffee would be good. And with a nice spicy kick, please. Any preference on the spicy kick? No, any strong coffee with spice would do. Any strong coffee with spice, so... Coffee. Cinnamon? Jingle beans? Well, it's a strong coffee with spice. Sure. Here's the jingle beans for the lady. Oh, that's novel. Perfect. I can feel myself relaxing already. No, Bailey's. What? You're weird. That thing doesn't smell relaxing to me at all. Oh, they're cute. You're weird. You're weird. I guess we're both weird. You're weird. Oh, you're cute. That we are. And there's Hyde. My lovely weirdo. My perfect misfit. My perfect misfit. Because he's like hippie. She even declared that in the first the first game, that he's kind of like that hippie-ish kind of guy. So I got his voice right almost perfectly off the bat, and I didn't even expect it to. Again, I did not look at a walkthrough about their voices on how they should, act like whenever I did the first game, nor do I do it on this one. I did for the coffees on the first one, though. drink some apple juice. This is so much better. It really is. Have I mentioned I love your smell? Oh, smile. Smell. Have I mentioned I love your smell? I'm such an idiot. Have I mentioned I love your smile? Never enough. Egg, disgusting. I'm going to need something real spicy to wash this down. And I'd love to serve you, Hyde. Listen, Hyde, you're a kinky jerk. Don't be getting involved in someone else's love life. If Bailey's doesn't want to order, that is. Hyde, sorry, I didn't hear you come in. Yeah, I know. You were too busy doing whatever you were doing. Oh dear. Hey, Hyde. Go ahead, get yourself a drink. I can wait. I'll stick here for a while anyway, until Lua properly gets off work. Alright then. Did you hear me, Napas? Spicy is the name of the game. Any preference on the spice or the base? Nope. Just make sure it's got a spicy kick of something, then double it. So, I remember. Oh, what was it last time? Oh, I'm not gonna look up a walkthrough. I know it was hibiscus. I want to try ginger. I think it was ginger, because I didn't have ginger last time. Brew. Let me say if that. I think it was. I believe so. No. Trash it. Oh wait. Lua. Yay, friends. Okay. Okay, oh dear, what was it? Was it? Hibiscus. Ginger? Zobo, there we go. Serve that bad boy. I felt up for a challenge, so try this. Bloodish red is what I got. The perfect drink to quench immortal thirst. That's the achievement I just got. And let me guess, he's now a better friend. Yep. Now I've got that added. If you don't like hibiscus in this, you never will. Let's see if you cracked the Hyde code. Well, this is kind of troublesome, Napas. You know me a little too well. Ah, so I take it this works for you. This is a perfectly executed Zobo if I ever tasted one. Glad to see you've made good use of your ginger resupply. So you knew I couldn't get it right the last time. Forgive an old man his old man jokes. Anyhow, this is the only acceptable way to drink hibiscus. I used to have a friend in Lagos who made me Zobo like this. Every time I visited, she lived near the harbor. We would sit down and drink it, watch the boats float by. That sounds lovely. She was a good friend. She isn't anymore? When you've got a vampire's lifespan, friends come and go. That's putting it really bad. That's sad. You get used to it. Isn't this where you say something about enjoying each moment even more? enjoying even each moment even more, or grief being the price you pay for love? I'm afraid it's a lot more mundane than that. Some things you forget, and for others, you just get better at moving on. Anyway, speaking of enjoying the moment, your family troubles have sorted themselves out, yes? Hold on, something came up on my phone. Dad just found a missing photo album of my childhood, and I can only wish you can see how cute I am as a kitten. Aww. Still on the marriage track? Yeah, we are. We definitely are. Not getting too bored? Not really. Turns out planning a wedding is, well, suitably entertaining. And that's one way of putting it. Can't wait to be at the marriage stage of it, to be honest. Did you sound any enthusiastic? Hey! Here they go again. Good to see that some things don't change. Oh dear. And such a dramatic backdrop too. Oh, the rain. Oh. You should start serving popcorn, Napas. I'd be more enthusiastic if we didn't fight about it every single time. No, I'm not engaging with this right now. I've got to go to work anyway. Right. And I'm going to have to I'm going to have a drink. Bye now, boss. Bye, Hyde. See ya. See ya. Ugh. What can I make you, Mr. Baileys? I think something warm, sweet, and comforting, please. A hot chocolate, perhaps? Yes, chocolate with honey and milk could work. Chocolate with honey and milk. Chocolate with honey and milk. Thank you for making it so easy for me. Chocobi Miruku. There we go, a Chocobi Miruku for you. Let's see. Does that mean he's a better friend now? Yep. So many more coffees now. Oh my goodness, that's so many more coffees. What is this? What is this supposed to be? Is it milk? Is it just straight up milk stuff? Perfect. This feels so good, Napas. It means a lot that you're always looking out for all of us. On a miserable night like this, it's heartwarming. But of course, you're our valued customers. Oh dear. I hope Lua didn't get too soaked. You do care a lot about her. Of course I do. Then why all the fighting? Listen, you're going to fight in any relationship. Me and my boyfriend have done it plenty of times. But it all depends on whether or not you come out of it better or worse out of the argument, and whether or not you're willing to understand the other side and understand that you might not see something, you know, from their eyes until, like, once you've been in their shoes, you've been their, you know, mate for a while. It's gonna take a long time for them to understand you, or something that you're just never going to agree about. Like with my mom and dad, of course, you know, I'm not on the best terms with my dad, specifically because of what happened in the past. My mom we're on okay terms. I mean, I love her dearly, and we care about each other, and she worries about me. But we've got that rift between us every once in a while, but we care about each other a lot more. I mean, like, I just say this: we care about each other. Like, I care about my mom more than I guess my dad, because to me, my dad wasn't really wasn't a father figure in the house. Most likely because he couldn't, because he never grew up knowing how to be a good father. Because his father was terrible, and his father's father was, even worse. But anyway, like, there's some things that you're not gonna see from the other side, and my mom and dad have disagreements about, me and my sister growing up and what has happened and things like that, and it still continues to this day. And they've been married for, I can't remember, let's see, 24 years? No, 25 years, I believe. 25 years. This year will be 25, I believe. And it even after 25 years, they still have disagreements about a lot of things. But I would defend to the death their marriage, because it's a good marriage. They, love each other. They understand each other. They're okay with, each other's faults and positives. There's positives and cons between you and your mate. Always. It's never going to be exactly the same. You are always going to disagree about something at some point, and it's going to take time to understand that. And if the arguments are far too many, like, you're arguing every single day, non-stop, constantly, on, like, serious issues, between y'all, then, or something that, y'all just, need to work out, but can't seem to get it worked out, then it might not be a good relationship. But if you argue about something, or argue about many things, and you come out of it each time, better, and, telling each other sorry, or saying, okay, I was wrong about this, or, I forgive you, or things like that, then it'll become a better relationship. But until that happens, it's not going to be a good relationship, because then you're always going to have that rift between you and your mate on issues, and that's going to bleed over into other issues that wouldn't be as intense as they normally would on their own. But since you haven't been able to solve a previous issue, then it's going to transfer over into the next issue that y'all happen to end up arguing about, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And so that's my take on relationships and things like that. But there's always going to be fighting every once in a while, and like in this situation, they were fighting beforehand about their families, and they ended up getting through it, and they're going to be ended up getting married. But then here comes the marriage issue, and they're arguing about that. I've argued with my boyfriend about family issues before. I'm not too fond of his family, from what I've seen and heard of what they've done, but we've argued about that before, and I know it's not my place. I just worry about him a lot, but we've come out of it more or less better beforehand. I understand I'm not going to be able to change his familial values, because I know he doesn't have the same familial values as I do, because he cares about his family, and a lot of his friends are, close to where he lives. And I'm all the way on the near other side of the country, on my own, and I don't see the family as, something I can perfectly care about in every sense of the matter, because of how much I was betrayed in the past for, and how much I was treated, and especially unequally like between me and my sister. And that's something that, I bring up many times with my parents, and I actually brought it up today with my mom, and even then they're still defending my sister about, why they treated her differently than me. And so it's just like, I don't have the same views on the family like he does. I just see family as people who got you through the first 18 years of your life and basically decided what kind of characteristic and what kind of personality you're going to grow up with. And I fought that wholeheartedly every second of the way, because I knew it wasn't, it wasn't fair, it was, it was wrong, and it wasn't, right. And so my level of respect for family isn't as high as my boyfriend's level of respect for family, or maybe even love. I mean, of course I love my family. I'll be there for them if they need me, but it's at this point, it's like there's no, I guess for me it's like kind of too late for sorry, in a sense, whereas he accepts, a sorry for anything, and that's kind of what we argued about. Just a little bit of detail. We argued about it, and so it put a rift between us at the time, but we got through it. Of course, I still have, a little bit of issue with it, because I don't see what he sees and how he sees it with the familial values, but I'm okay with it. It's going to be something that you're going to end up dealing with down the road in your relationship. Something's going to come up that you're not going to be able to see eye to eye on, and it's up to both of you, not just one person, up to both of you to decide, is this going to be what breaks our relationship? Anyway, then why all the fighting? Excuse me. Ew. You tell me. This wedding is bringing out the worst in us. Since we sorted out the situation with my family. You mean since you've cut them off? Yeah, since I stopped talking to their judgmental faces. I mean, I'm kind of on the side with Bailey's. That, like if you watch the first game, because I recorded that too. Lua and Bailey's are kind of, in a similar sense to me and my boyfriend, Prism, and he has like the similar familial values as expressed in the first game, whereas I'm more on the same side as Bailey's, where I don't really see my family as someone who I should be there at every single moment, regardless, no matter what, drop everything and immediately help them at that moment, or basically break up with, my mate, because that was what was going on in the game, break up with my mate for the family, and that's what Bailey's didn't want to do. And that's what I don't want to do. But Lua fought against Bailey's about, well, you need to care for your family more, because, they're your only ones, and, they need love too. And then they fought about, how they view family differently. And this was when they were boyfriend, girlfriend. And that's kind of what happened, what's a little bit what's happening between me and Prism is, you know, but in a sense, but he's still with his family. I'm separate in my own house, but living close by, and like I am ready to leave family behind and everything for him, but he's not ready to do the same, and that's kind of, you know, what we're arguing about, what I was, you know, feeling was the rift between us. That how could you see, you know, not my point of view as well whenever you're going through something similar in your situation, and that's what we were arguing about, and so it's a big thing, but I'm hoping it doesn't cause us to, you know, dislike each other to the point to where we say that we can't be together anymore. Because he's a really good man, and I really love him, and I care about him. It's just really hard for me to see his viewpoint on, you know, many things, a lot of the times. And for me, it's like I just want someone there to be able to listen to me, to be there. Basically, for someone to choose me in my life. Because I haven't had that ever in my life. Where basically someone chose me every single time. And that's what, you know, I was having issues with. But we're getting through it, and I'm sure we're gonna be okay between each other. Anyway, Lua and I haven't fought about anything until now. Every time we try to organize this thing, it's like we become different people. I got a headache. Let me ask you something. Go ahead. What do you want from this wedding? How do you mean? It's not complicated. I'm just asking what you want. If you close your eyes and picture the day, what do you see? What do you see? Honestly, I have no clue. I know Lua is there, but that's about it. That's not a bad start, in truth. But if you don't have specific expectations, why don't you just let her do what she wants? You make it sound so easy. I want her to have what she wants. That's exactly what I've been trying to achieve. I've been picking up on everything she's liking on Tomodachi. Every wedding picture she's pinning online, all the places she finds cool, and all the fashion designers she follows. She deserves to have all that, to have a special day. But every time I make a suggestion, she won't hear it. She won't hear of it. She says it's too much, too expensive, too this, too that. Is it too much, too expensive? That's not the point. I don't want her to have a shabby wedding just because I'm estranged from my family. I want her to have what she wants, what she deserves. A proper princess wedding. You're a remarkably presumptuous young man, Mr. Hyde. No, that's all right. I know Hyde helped Lua back in the day. If he's got something to say, I want to hear it. Good, because I was going to say it whether you liked it or not. You're sitting here going on about everything Lua should want, as if you could know when someone else's heart. When you love someone, no, especially when you love someone, should never presume to know what they need. Yeah, and that's something I have an issue with too. I've kind of projected that onto Prism, you know, every once in a while, like, you need this, you need to not do this, you need to do this, and I guess this is just like a reality shock to me that I need to, you know, let him do what he wants. What he feels he needs to do for himself. So for some reason I'm getting allergies. No, I'm not crying. It's just every once in a while, for some reason, my nose just decides to suddenly stuff up, and I can't do the voice as good. Lua is the only one who can tell what Lua wants. But that's exactly the problem. When I ask her, she always says she doesn't know. How do I know how that feels? Then give her time to figure it out. It's not going to help if you pressure her with 1,000 suggestions a minute, or if you try to force her into some sort of princess wedding just to make you feel good about yourself. Yeah, oh shit, he's fucking right. But what if we take so long that we reach old age and we're still not married? If you reach old age and you're still together, married or not, I think that still counts as a win. And since we're talking about taking some time, you should also use that time to figure out what you want. Otherwise, best you'll get is a wedding based on your skewed idea of what Lua's wedding should be. Damn it, Ryan! Why are you so fucking realistic? That sounds pretty sad to me. Well, that wasn't pleasant to hear. No, it wasn't. Even for me, it wasn't pleasant to hear, but it's a fucking reality shot. Holy crap. This game really just reflected a mirror on myself. Holy crap. Okay. Well. I do realize I've been pressuring Prism on multiple angles. On things that I shouldn't pressure him on. And Prism, if you are watching this, I love you and I'm really sorry about that. And I do need to give you some space. I need to give Prism some space to let him decide what he wants. Wow. This was a reality shot. Bailey's. But it also wasn't wrong. Give her time to figure out what I want. Give her time and figure out what I want? Huh. Sounds so simple. Should have thought about that before, I guess. You're not bad at this tough love thing, are you, Hyde? Perhaps I should consider a career in couples counseling. I don't know about that, Hyde, because there have been times where you went a little bit too far on things, and Gala had to be the one to step in and say, hold on, calm down. That doesn't sound nearly as much fun as modeling, doesn't it? Modeling gets old after a while. I thought you were having a good time in LA. I was, until I wasn't. I'm moving to Seattle, in fact. I kept my contract with the agency just in case, but there aren't many modeling jobs to be had here. Really? What are you gonna do then? Go back to my mafia dwarf buddies, of course. Come on, I'm obviously kidding. Are you? Phew. I wouldn't go back to them. I'd go back to being chased by them. Besides, I checked in on them, and everyone I used to find entertaining has retired now. Meanwhile, the grandkids manage the whole enterprise. It's like some sort of startup. Are we seriously talking about the mafia right now? That's for me to know, and for you to wonder about. What? Mr. Hyde likes to play a little. Guilty as charged. I can't help it. When I see an earnest face, I have to tease it. I'll take that as a compliment. But also, what's wrong with managing things like a startup? That sounds like a pretty efficient approach, right? You young people, impatient in business like you're impatient in love. Efficiency isn't everything. I have all the time in the world. I don't care if things are done fast. I want them done right. And maybe you should go into slow fashion. Or fine arts. If you paint with oils, that'll take some proper time. Fine arts were the first thing I got good at a few centuries ago. But my style isn't trendy nowadays. Too much chiaroscuro lighting. And put blue in skin tones isn't novel anymore. If you're finished insinuating that you're Rembrandt, if my mafia buddies find out, I'll be in trouble. No, sacre bleu. You're always joking around, Hyde. But for all that, you don't sugarcoat your advice. You're a pretty great listener. I hope you also have people who listen to you. I'm moving here to be closer to them. What was that? Nothing. I believe your phone is ringing. It's Lua. She's done with work for the day, finally. In a hurry to leave here, Mr. Baileys? No, not at all. But I am looking forward to going home. And keep bickering? Nah, I don't think so. I had an epiphany just now. Must be something in the drink. No, it's real life. Hitting you in the face with something that you needed to hear. Like it just did me. And I needed that today. That was the advice I needed. And see, that's the thing. It's also good whenever you take advice and you can actually accept it. And you realize, and once you get that realization, you either go with it or you completely reject it and say, no, I'm just going to keep doing it my way. Which is a very selfish and terrible thing to do. And holy crap, I just realized how I've been doing this entire time with me and my relationship. I really do need to step back. I think it was just because I was afraid of losing him that I needed to do something to prove that I'm worth it. When I didn't need to in the first place. Because, you know, my previous relationships, because Prism's number 20. He is number 20 for me. Yeah, I know, I'm such a whore, oh my gosh, but my previous relationships went so horribly. The one before him was absolutely atrocious. It was insanity incarnate. And it was absolutely horrible. I'm not even gonna say his name, because if I say his name, then it's gonna get recognition, and then because he's also on this platform, and I'm not gonna talk about it. But it's, I will say this, on one of my very earlier previous relationships, I was dating a bodybuilder, and he broke up with me about a month into our relationship because I wasn't praising his body enough. That's why he dumped me, because I wasn't praising his body enough. And that stuck with me for all the other relationships, unfortunately, and I felt like I needed to keep doing something for the other to prove I was worth it. And I think that's what I'm trying too hard to do. I need to focus on myself. That's a very hard thing to do because I've been put down so terribly. Every single time I've tried, worry about myself. That I've put so much emphasis on other people that I didn't really care about myself that much. Or even at all at some points. Holy crap. This game is perfect! This game is too perfect! It's too real! It's too perfect! Ugh. Holy crap. Man. Yeah. I need to back away and focus on myself. Figure out what I want. And everything else will fall into place. Easier said than done, but I realize what I need to do. Anyway, I'm going to leave the topic alone for a little while. Good elf. Enjoy your night then. I think I will. Thanks, Hyde. And thanks, Not Boss. Of course. Of course. Have a good night, Mr. Baileys. And it was just one human, one vampire. Mr. Hyde, what was that about the mafia and modeling and fine arts? Are you genuinely considering a career change? All I'm considering right now is whether my car got nicked. I know old man Georgie said this area is safe, and it's a pile of junk. But it's a pile of junk with sentimental value. I sense a story. Haha. It's quite a story indeed, but I'll make it short because it's getting pretty late. I got this car many moons ago, back when Gala was my bodyguard. Yeah, I had been stuck in Seattle for a while, working day in and out, and day out. At some point, I decided that I needed a proper break. But you know Gala, thanks to you, he's a bit of a stickler for the rules. There was no way I could have a night out. Also, I can't do a French accent perfectly. I don't know how to do it. This is just what I imagine French, just like very short rolls of the R's and things like that. So I'm just, oh well. Sorry to all French people and the French. Please, I'm sorry. There was no way I could have a night out in the middle of a big job, not on his watch. So you slipped his watch? Ha! You know me well, Napas. Some friends and we decided to get together. I was to provide the ride, they provide the entertainment. I did the usual thing. I waited until Gala was sound asleep. Then I left a pile of pillows under the duvet, hide-shaped, and I snuck out of the hotel room. There was only one problem. Gala was my chauffeur as well. He had your car keys. He had my car keys. And I wasn't about to poke the bear wolf. So I went to the nearest dealership and got the cheapest car I could find. I only intended to keep it for the night, you see. I'll spare you the details, but my friends and we drove to a lovely spot with a view. For the sort of action which I admit might appear ambiguous from the outside, but to me was very enjoyable indeed. Oh yes. We were right in the thick of it when suddenly we hear a tap on the window. My nose! No, my nose is... I can't do the voices correctly when my nose is so stuffed now. Let me guess. That was Gala. The wolf himself. He peers inside, then he starts banging on the door so hard, the whole car is shaking. We all just kind of freeze, and then he says, "How dare you kidnap Mr. Hyde?" He opens the door and tosses my dates outside. Mr. Hyde, you're not winding me up, are you? Oh, not boss. I wish. I wish. Sorry, it still sends me into a fit just to think about it. Princess carried me out of the car, if you can believe that. That's a conscientious bodyguard if I ever heard of one. Right? Truly earning his yearly bonus. I didn't even have the chance to explain the situation. At least not until he removed my gag. Oh, shoot! Oh, no! You cheeky mofo! Gala acted like he was angry, but in reality, he was mortified. If not as mortified as my dates, whom I had to pick out of the grass. Poor Gala. Tisk, Snapas, I see where your allegiance lies. Personally, I'd say poor me. I never saw those lovely friends again after that fiasco. But I couldn't be angry at Gala even then. In fact, I found his chivalry rather charming. He didn't seem to find my antics quite as charming, though. He had woken up, hadn't found me, and was already suspecting the worst. And that was before he discovered me in a strange car in the middle of nowhere, in a compromising position. Yeah, I bet you were tied up and gagged, huh? That's what gave the terrible, absolutely terrible look. I think he was truly terrified on my account. So he stopped talking to me for a few weeks. That doesn't sound unfair. I suppose it wasn't. He also wouldn't give me my car keys back. I got stuck with this old thing you can see outside. And the worst of it is, if you can believe it, I decided as a grand gesture to chauffeur him around in it. He stopped sulking really quickly after that. I suspect he wasn't a huge fan of my driving. Anyhow, I decided to keep the car in the end for whatever reason. My car collection has had some serious turnover, but this one isn't going anywhere. I must have replaced everything inside it a dozen times over, and it is very banged up. But I guess I've grown fond of it by now. We're both a little stuck in time, this car and I. Yes, I do that with my car. I would have done it with every car, but the longest I held a car, not the one I have now, the longest I held a car was a year? And here's the reason why. First car I had lasted 6 months. I loved that car. It was a 1988 Dodge Dakota, blue, like that light blue, and it was perfect. I loved it. I spent about like $600. Remind you, this is, back when inflation wasn't insane and the $7.25 an hour minimum wage wasn't terribly argued against at the time because everything else wasn't as terribly expensive. But I was working at Subway at $7.25 an hour, and I spent $600 on that truck, getting everything just amazing. Oh, and the smell inside. Yes, it was an old smell, but oh, I loved it. It was so amazing. I loved it. One day, it was raining one day terribly, and this isn't gonna go like in your mind. Everyone in your mind, I already know where you think this is going to go. It's not gonna go there. You're all wrong on what you're thinking of. I can tell you right now. It was raining. I was coming home from school, and I was driving on the road. And on the way, there's this house where their main source of heat is firewood. And this was cold. It was cold and raining. So, of course, this house, and it's like by the road, and this is considered a highway road. And so there's a lot of people on it. This house had smoke absolutely blowing out the chimney. It had just smoke coming out terribly. There was a cop in the left lane. He decides and there was a car in front of me, and the cop in the left lane, like in the very front. He decides he's gonna check it out. So, and this is like, I'm at one light, and it was like across the bridge, another light, and then it was like a few feet after the light to the right was the house, and the house driveway doesn't go into the highway. No, it goes off a road that was, you know, elsewhere, and then went around. He decides to speed up, go around this other car. Mind you, we had just gotten to the speed limit of 45 as well. Like, you need to get up to speed on this highway after the light, otherwise you're gonna get people. Otherwise, people are gonna get mad, and you also yourself are gonna get mad. He decides to stop in the middle of the road in the right lane, just slam on his brakes, stop, and turn his lights on to check out this house. Car in front of me slams on the brakes. I slam on my brakes as hard as I can, have to go onto the curb so I wouldn't hit the car in front of me. I didn't hit the car. I didn't even come close to hitting it. And I see the cop walking off to the house. I'm so angry. This is why I don't entirely like cops as well, along with, you know, things that are going on currently. But he decides he's gonna, you know, stop in the middle of the highway and check out this house, and why its smoke is billowing out of its chimney. Like, that's not a normal thing to see. On the way home, like, and it was like 2 minutes from home from there, I'm still driving. I didn't notice anything was wrong until I had gotten to the driveway, and I noticed something was wrong. Like, I'm not getting as much power going to the wheels. I can't do anything. So I park, get out my truck, look back to from where I was driving, because it was like kind of like a cul-de-sac area from the neighborhood, and there are these big, like, pools of what looks like oil in drops, because it was, you know, raining hard, so the oil is gonna be on top in big drops that was spreading out all the way from where I was. The transmission blew itself out at that moment. The moment I slammed on the brakes. And it was a hard slam. And this is a very old car, so I don't know if it disengaged fast enough for everything to stop. I doubt it did. And the transmission killed itself. After that, the truck would not be able to drive. It was not able to drive at all. I couldn't put it in. And this wasn't a manual, it was an automatic. Could not get it into drive, could not do anything for it. Nothing. Would not work. And I was like, you're shitting me. You are actually shitting me. And I had a dash cam at the time. Unfortunately, the footage was a long time ago, and it's already gone. I don't have it. I was so mad. Oh, I was so mad. I had poured so much of my money into that just for it to get ruined. And that was like 6 months. Next vehicle that, you know, from selling that truck, my parents got me a 1998 Ford F-150. Love that truck. Drove it, you know, everywhere. Got my first speeding ticket in it because the speedometer was off by 20 miles. And one day I was, you know, speeding, trying to get home. It was a 35, and I thought I was going 50, but apparently I wasn't. I was and the cop pulled me over. I had flashing lights, everything. Cop pulled me over and said, "You're going 74 in a 35." I'm like, oh shit, no. Ugh. And it wasn't my best moment. I was working late as well. I was working 2 jobs, Subway, school, and helping with the very specific market. I'm not gonna say because then they'll, you know, reveal exactly where I live, and I don't really want to deal with that. But it was this very specific market, and I helped clean up, you know, everything after this market, you know, daily during this time. And it would take me to 11:45 to midnight. At the time, I did not even think about that. Well, and at the time, McDonald's was like 24/7. So I wanted to get McDonald's. I really wanted to get McDonald's and get home, eat, and go to bed. And my parents were being terribly strict about it. Like, what? You need to get home. You need to hurry up and get home. I'm like, okay, I'm trying. I was tunnel visioning the entire way. I barely even looked at the speedometer. And I only looked whenever I saw the lights, but in my rearview mirror, and I looked down and I saw I was going 50 in a 35, but apparently I wasn't. I was going 74 in a 35. But it's already gone now. That was way over 3 years ago, so it's not on my record anymore. Not against my insurance, nothing. But later on after that, and I had poured and I was still working at Subway. Poured about $400 into it, and I had quit Subway as well, after a while. And but while I had it, I was still working at Subway, and oh my goodness, I was, it was the same day I was, working off the hours, and I had gotten off the community service thingy because I was working at the library helping out, and I decided to, just go on a drive, just try to clear my head, figure out, everywhere else, what niceness there might be. And I was turning into a neighborhood to turn around, and I was in the middle lane, the median lane where you can, wait for traffic to clear from oncoming so you can turn into the neighborhood without blocking the traffic behind you. There was another car waiting to turn left onto the main road. Well, traffic clears up, I go, and so does the other car, and they T-boned me in the middle. It was a very low speed crash, and I think they said it was under 15 miles an hour. And it felt like a big jolt to my truck, but it didn't look too damaged to me. But their car was, ruined. And of course I didn't have, the dash cam at the time, but I did not move my truck from the accident at the moment. And after we got the police on the scene and they took evidence of everything, then they decided to have us move out of the road, and so we did. And I wasn't at fault. They admitted fault. They were also an older couple, so I felt terrible about that. But anyway, that totaled the truck, and it actually turned out totaled the truck because the leaf spring was damaged, and a 1998 Ford F-150. Trying to find a leaf spring for that, and finding someone to get it on there to replace it is not cheap. It went way over the cost to repair it than the worth. My parents used the insurance money from that crash to get my sister a vehicle rather than me, and so I was stuck with a red van that my family was using. And I was so distraught about that. Like, how is that fair in any way at all? It's so unfair. And then I moved out because I came out to my parents, things like that, and they didn't like it. And I was living with my coworkers, and then I needed a vehicle to get to and from work, and I was working at a car dealership at the time. And I got a 2006 Nissan Sentra. I hadn't even made the first payment yet. I didn't even get insurance confirmed on the vehicle. I had that thing for a week and a half. The video is out there on YouTube somewhere. I don't have it anymore. I tried finding it, but I don't have it anymore. But it's somewhere on one of those dash cam videos. This truck, it was terribly raining. It was absolutely pouring. This truck I'm driving down the highway from, home at the time to work. I was tired, I was stressed, I was angry, dealing with so many things. And this truck is coming down the ramp to merge. Now, in this video, there is a van, and everyone says, "Oh, you should have moved over. You should have moved over." It was pouring rain. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see as much, terribly in front of me as I could behind me. And I had the wipers going like really hard as well, just move. And all I see are headlights behind me. I can't tell if they're to my left and behind me or directly and behind me, because they're just blasting their high beams at me. And so I'm like, okay. And in the video, you see a van, so you can gauge the distance and how fast I'm going. So I'm like, okay, let me slow down, let him go in front of me. Well, he slows down as well. So I'm like, okay, I realize he's slowing down. Let me speed up so I can get in front of him and he can merge in behind me. But then he decides to do the same thing, and the road has run out for him. And I'm just stuck, like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to keep going forward. And you can see me going through the decisions with the distance that I gain, with the distance that I, let increase between me and the van in front of me, and then the decision to speed up and go and try to get in front of him so he can merge in behind me when I close the gap and distance between me and the van in front. Well, he decides I'm honking at him because he's trying to merge into me, and I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go. I can't go anywhere. I'm not gonna run into a car to the next to me to avoid you running into me. That's not how it works. And it's always said, it's better to have the negligent party hit you rather than you hit a third party and they drive away scot-free with your insurance rates going up. That's how it goes. That's how it works. It's understandable. It's fair, because the negligent party needs to be the one responsible for a crash that they caused, not you, not the innocent party. So I'm honking at him so that, to let him know I'm here, because it's pouring down rain, and he was like in an older truck, so I didn't know if he could see me. But he decides to honk back at me, and almost swerves into me, and gets in directly behind me. So of course, all the stress that I was going through in life at that moment just kind of snapped, and I admit I brake checked him for literally like half a second, not even enough to really brake check him, and then I continued driving. Well, he goes around me on the left of the lane, because at this time I still didn't know if that other car was directly behind me or to the left. Goes around me, comes shooting around, and then tries to merge into me, I guess to brake check me or run me off the road or whatever. I wasn't gonna let myself die that moment, so I just held my ground, pressed the brakes, but he did too at the same time, and we hit, and he's like pushing into me, and I'm realizing he's pushing me off the road, so I push my wheel the other way. Of course, I'm screaming this time like, woo! And it's scary, because that was my first major wreck at a high speed. I didn't know if I was going to die, because there's a very steep ditch to my right, and if I go down that, I'm sure I'm going to die, and so I don't want to die. So he's still pushing into me, and I'm pushing back to avoid being pushed against into the ditch, and we're both braking at the same time, and I'm slamming on my brakes, and finally he decides to go forward while I'm stopping, and he overcorrects, swerves, almost spins out, and goes into like the very big wide ditch, not very deep, but it has a wire barrier between our lanes and the other oncoming lanes to prevent cars from running into there. And later on I learned, because I didn't even look at his truck, I didn't see his truck, I didn't look at it afterwards. I learned later on that his truck was nearly split in half from the wire barrier. Of course, he comes out trying, and it's pouring rain. he comes to my door. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like halfway off, the road right here, half in the grass, half on the road. And I'm just on a police waiting for them to come in, and I tell my coworkers about it, and one of them comes rushing back to where it was. And of course, I'm in tears, I'm scared, I'm crying. I didn't talk to the other guy at all. I refused to talk to him. It was one of those redneck, tall, skinny, long, very, very, very long beard that was unkept and very, angry looking. And he was like knocking on my window. I refused to open the door. I was like, I do not acknowledge your existence right now. You did this to me. I had a dash cam, so of course it caught all that. The cop says he didn't even need the video. He knew who was at fault. The other guy tried to say, well, he didn't let me merge, that's why I ran into him. Yeah, sure, great thing to say to a cop. Of course, I still show the cop the video. The cop told me two things. He said, your left wheels, because my right wheels were all the way on the grass. He said, your left wheels are exactly about 2 inches on the road. That is what saved your life. If your wheels went another 2 inches to the right, your brakes would not have worked in that very wet grass, and you would have ran into the ditch, and you most likely would have died and rolled over and, crashed into the trees or something. You most likely would have died. So what you did in the video was good, and it was very good defensive driving. Second thing he said that what else was it that he said? No, I forgot. What? I don't know. It was something about the wreck. But he said I did good, and that I have nothing to worry about, and that if he was in that situation, he would have done the same thing. But he said that if my wheels went 2 more inches to the right, I would have died. I would not be living today if I did not push back against that truck to avoid being thrown into the ditch. That car lasted me 2.5 weeks. Not 2.5, 1.5 weeks. And so I get the insurance money from that, and I use that to buy my car that I have now. I love it to death. I've had it since then. I've had 2 wrecks in it now already. 3 collisions in it already, and it's survived every single one of them, and I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything else. I absolutely love it to death. I've spent about probably the equivalent of maybe about $1,500 in maintenance for it. It cost me $4,500 to buy it in the first place, but absolutely more like $2,500 that I've spent in modifying, maintaining it, all that kind of stuff. And I love it. I love it because it takes care of me. It's good. It's great on gas. It's a small little red car. I love it. But yeah, that's the story of my cars. But this car that I have currently, I do not want to change it for anything. Even if it were the choice between that or the 1988 Dodge Dakota, I would still choose my car that I have now. Just because, it's great on gas. I love it. It's, amazing. So, yeah. Anyway. You're rather more sentimental than I thought, Mr. Hyde. Sentimental? That's what you took away from that story? But I suppose you're right. Good thing it's only us here. I can plausibly deny this conversation ever took place. Still, the rain has stopped and this is my cue to go, before I lose all my remaining cred. I hope the car is safe and sound. So do I. Safe and sound. And not boss? Yes. Excuse me, I had a burp. Nah, nothing. Have a good night. Good night, Mr. Hyde. A safe journey home. Ginger latte, a warm energy boost, perfect for a cold evening. Do I have ginger latte? Maybe I don't. Monday, September 25th, 2023. Evening Whispers, fair charge. First wave of visa applications to Europe rejected for failure to include passport signatures. The rise and fall of Weirdstein box offices, a brief history. Sold out replica astronaut suits experienced an extreme increase in sales. Let's see, what are we here now? Lucas, does everything happen for a reason or not? I wonder how everyone's doing. Rachel, Nico Chow at Kimono Pods. Okay. Trucker fell asleep and crashed near the 4th Avenue. No casualties, but quite the property damage. I reckon you want to avoid the area for the moment. Yona, road construction on Leonora Avenue. Goodness, this is bad out in the world. Oh, if this is what September 23 is gonna happen, oh my goodness. And we're having an immigration issue suddenly, all of a sudden now. So wow, this game is telling the future. Yeah. I hope the power hiccups didn't affect the machine too much. This is a very slow start. Ah, here we go. Right on the nick of time. Hey! Welcome, you two. It's a relief to see you safe and sound. Hi, Not Boss. Yes, we are also very relieved. It was a little scary last time. We analyzed the events of the evening. We found them 31.245% frightening and 68.755% distasteful. Leaving in such a hurry is not an experience we care to repeat. Hopefully this will be a quieter evening. Yes, that is a wish. Yes, that is a wish. Anyhow, greetings are customary in cafes, bars, and restaurants, are they not? Therefore, good evening. Good evening. Even if in reality it should be good night. We find that very strange. Good evening is the way to say hello, but good night is the way to say goodbye. Is this assuming that you never start an encounter at night? Because that theory would appear to be empirically wrong. For example, this is the second time we meet Earthchild, and both times have been at night. Our 100% sample does not bear out the aforementioned premise, but additionally, the very concepts of evening and morning seem to only marginally... Amanda? Yes, what is it? I think Nutboss tried to interject a couple of times. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, Nutboss. No, it's alright. I didn't have anything important to say. The truth is, I'm not sure why our greetings have a circadian rhythm. Okay. Earthlings are creatures of habit, I suppose. They get attached to certain ways of using language, and often don't question the actual meaning of the words. Yes, at least in this particular case, no one's getting hurt. Since I arrived here, I observed that some thoughtless uses of language can have a much more painful effect. Indeed. Oh dear, something happened. We see and we agree. We apologize for interrupting you, Manapas. Don't worry about it. Communicating with a hive connection is rather challenging. Without a hive connection is rather challenging. Besides, we have been in somewhat heightened in a heightened besides, we have been in a somewhat heightened mental state. We have been finding Earth quite curious. Curious. Extraordinary, even. We are keen to absorb as much inspiration as we can during our... I can't speak English. We are keen to absorb as much information as we can during our visit here. It seems to us our siblings who previously visited Earth came back to find... I'm getting out of breath. Came back with findings of rather superficial nature. We are excited to gather data that will advance the science of Earth studies. Our return to the hive will be triumphal. Ahem. Oh my goodness, she has ADHD. Of course, we do not do such things for the glory, but still, we are looking forward to seeing our own work recognized. So are you a scholar, Miss Amanda? Yes, that is a good equivalent of what we are. We specialize in data gathering and analysis of poorly charted territories. That sounds very impressive. Oh, DGAPCT is much less impressive than our siblings' mission. Silver is an explorer and an adventurer. He is deserving of respect, and his mission is to find prospective partners is of the utmost importance. Still perspective, huh? No progress on that front, I take it? Well, I wouldn't say quite that. Very intriguing. You're always so professional, Napas. You rarely ask direct questions, but I think you're a little curious about the gossip, right? What's gossip? What is gossip? Gossip is information about what goes on in other people's lives. Oh, we see! So it's like data on individual beings then? Yes, that sounds right. We love gossip! What's wrong with it? Nothing at all, I would love to listen to yours. But let me at least make you a drink first. We must consider our choice of drink carefully. We suggest our sibling goes first. Are you ready to order so? I have an idea, yes. Can we expect an interesting new recipe? You're a barista yourself now, after all. A barista? How about... Oh, you mean the cafe? Yes, you mentioned you were opening one, didn't you? I am, after a fashion. But I'm not focusing on drink menus just yet. Also intriguing. I promise I'm not just withholding information, Napas. But things are a little complicated. Is it alright if we start with a drink? I'll try my best to explain everything afterwards. That sounds good to me. Then, I think I'd like something simple tonight. Do you remember the first drink I ordered when I came here years ago? Wasn't it a coffee-based drink? It was! A coffee-based drink, and I think you mentioned it was very bitter. Bitter and tart, right? Yes, I think that's right. It's a bitter and tart coffee drink. It was the Milky Way, right? Or it was Blue Lightning. Blue pea, ginger, and ginger. Right? Bitter and tart. Right? Or was it the Milky Way? Because this one isn't coffee. Blue pea, ginger, and ginger. That's not coffee. It had coffee. It was a Milky Way. What was a Milky Way again? Bitter and tart coffee drink. No, I'm not messing this up. I'll look at Milky Way. Milky Way. Milky Way. Coffee. There we go. Milk, honey, and mint. Oh, wait. Bitter and tart coffee drink. Oh wait, is it the first? should give him... this one. Friends. Master Purloiner is what they should make. Watch your pocket. What is... I got it off the agent the last time he was here. This is quite something. Thank you, Napos. Truly. I can't know how much it helps, but it really does. Don't mention it. I thought, you know, maybe you'd find a way to put it to good use. I'm sure I can figure something out. You seem to have grown quite creative over the months. I guess I have, somewhat. I'll let you know how this plays out in the end. Thank you again. Here's a black lemon for you, Silver. This definitely looks like what I had in mind. And its taste interesting. It's very minimal yet strong. Very enjoyable. I think I might prefer sweeter things, but I'm glad I tried this one. You know, I second what Mr. Manda said last time. You feel the same in some ways, yet also very different. I don't know. I do think that everyone keeps changing all the time, and maybe we feel like our personalities make sense, because we see ourselves in hindsight, when the truth is, we make ourselves up as we go along. That is an insightful theory, Silva. That is an insightful theory, Silva. You have grown wiser. You used to be a rather useful and innocent part of the hive. Ah, well, I've had to learn and adapt here. It's been a couple of years, after all. But despite all that, considering what I said about people changing all the time, I don't think I have changed all that much. I noticed a T. In fact, it's as if I've been becoming a little more me every day. Just revealing myself. Speaking of that, we meant to ask. How did you choose this specific Earthling appearance over another? Our observation is that Earthlings come in a great many varieties, with a near infinity of combinations. Did you run a random generation algorithm? Oh no, it wasn't random at all. Even if at first it was a conscious process. I chose the way I look because I felt true to who I am. When I first started coming to this cafe, I had a hard time understanding this world and its rules. But there were already some things that I could relate to. Some things that felt familiar. Like Hyde's eyes, they always see beyond the surface. Or Gala's outfit, which is a sign of kindness and trust. I borrowed those traits from them without even realizing. You took inspiration from them? Yes, our species seems to have the ability to do that. But Gala's fashion I couldn't keep after all. It came with responsibilities. People stopped me all the time to ask me for medical advice. I can see how that would be problematic. Yes, but then I found this fictional universe, where other stories take place in the stars. So I changed my outfit to imitate theirs. At some point, it all came together. One morning, I saw myself in the mirror, and I felt right. Like the way I looked matched who I was. It made me feel at peace. So although I look different from when we first met, and although I've learned the ways of this world a bit and have grown a bit, in many ways I still feel the same. She's just losing her mind. Different but same. Yes, very different but same. It makes sense to us. It really does. Oh, is this Laurel? No, this is one Pearl. Still no news from Midge. We think the odds are now 84.308% that she is phantoming you. You mean ghosting? We mean phantoming, as in when you think you hear a sound, but your ears are merely playing a trick on you. We thought we had established a hive connection with Midge, but it was only a phantom sound after all. Anyhow, what is Pearl saying? That her calendar might clear up soon if I want to meet up. Ooh, Silver! Sounds like things are going very well indeed. Nice. Getting some smexy. I think it might be time to tell you a little bit about this. But we wish to order a drink as well. Oh, of course. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Amanda. Our apologies, but the machine's having issues today. We'll let you know as soon as it's working again. Oh, she's angry. Curious that Earth drink making skills are so refined, yet so unreliable. This is a land of contradictions. It sure is. But do carry on, sibling. Right, so I've been relying on Amanda to help me with the online part of online dating, and it's been working really well. On average. There have also been some small issues. Things are strange. Online dating has a reputation for emphasizing that, yes. Oh, did it rain? Is it raining now? No, it's not raining. Man, why won't it rain? I want it to rain. Some Earthlings express their interest, but when you say hello, they never answer back. While in real life, saying hello is a starter for 99.845% of conversations. It seems that online more humorous or breed-orientating openers are favored. However, if an opener is entirely horned, it is... You're worse than Silver. You're worse than Silver when he first got here. However, if an opener is entirely horned, you can get past that part. However, if an opener is entirely horned, it is considered out of bounds and angrily dismissed. Horn? Yes, that is what it... Yes, that is when prospective partners send you close-up pictures of their horns. People do that? Oh yes. I think it would be fine after a bit of conversation. If we get into the mood and they ask me first, I'd probably say yes. Horns can be really pretty, you know? But it feels very strange when that's the first thing they do. Are you sure it does not mean something else? Entirely horned. Before they even write a single word, I can imagine. And then sometimes Earthlings express interest, but after reading a joke that is statistically funny 99.908% of the time, they answer with a sad face and block communications. Funny for you, 99.908% of the time. Yes. What is it? Fortunately, online dating is governed by the law of large numbers, which favors persistence. We are patient. Oh, funny. Amanda has been spending a lot of time on the app, and it started to work out. I'm now having conversations with some really nice people, especially Pearl. We prefer Laurel! Her facial features are more symmetrical, but Silver seems to favor the asymmetrical Earthling. It's just, she sounds like a really good person. She's a communications director for a charity that fights homelessness. She cares about other people a lot. I don't think she's been very lucky in return, but she's very funny and curious of everything, and her smile. Please desist! We can sense your hormones boiling! Amanda! And she's the person you might be getting a date with? I really hope so. A finger gun. Pew, 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 pew. Do you have a day and time for your date? No. This is on a different topic. Please excuse me. Oh dear. Uh-oh. And the little finger things, he's so cute. Oh, so cute. So I take it you've been enjoying your time on Earth, Miss Amanda? Or not? No, we have been enjoying it. But we also see the limits of it. How do you mean? We are a hive mind. I have my nose, no boundaries or limitations. We share all our thoughts and desires. Excuse me. It is not difficult for us to connect. We are born connected. But Earthlings are guarded. They have complex emotions. And they have no means of truly knowing what anyone else feels. That makes them afraid of judgment and of hurt. It must be very difficult and painful for them to connect deeply. There is so much they must let go of first. We could not live like that. You said that online networks were like a hive? Like a hive, but not a true hive. A true hive requires honesty and directness, as well as a desire to deeply understand others. I see. You don't think you could ever adapt the way Silver has? Silver is different. Even when he was part of us, we could sense him looking outwards. That is why he's become such an amazing explorer. And that's why he made the effort to learn Earthlings' codes and behaviors. He did not just want to understand. He wanted to experience. We are not like him. We like to seek knowledge on what is different from us. But once we have that knowledge, we are satisfied. Uncovering it and bringing it back is what makes us happy. This is curious. It seems we are picking up some Earthling instincts after all. It is a good thing that our data readings it's a good thing that our data readings here should soon be complete. And Silver's on his way getting a date. It would appear so. Uh-oh. Amanda, we have to go. What? Again? That call was bad news. The agent. Too late. Just hide behind the counter. Quick. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Agent. We apologize, but our machine has been having issues. Cannot serve drinks at the moment. You know very well I'm not here for drinks. I'd rather not involve any more civilians in this, though. Oh, do you mean me? I'm sorry, but can't whatever this wait for another night? I haven't finished my drink yet, and it looks like the rain again outside. Well, here's something that can't wait. For starters, barista, did you happen to find an ID card lying around? An ID card? Not that I can recall, no. I certainly hope you're telling the truth. Mr. Agent, you seem to always doubt me, but you've been here several times already. Surely you should see by now that I'm not lying. Well, you're awfully good at avoiding straight answers, and losing an ID card sounds very troublesome. Back when I worked at a delivery center, they would make us pay a lot to replace those lost ID cards. Ugh. And that's not even the start of it. My job is a lot less forgiving than a delivery center. I'm sorry to hear that. What's your job, exactly? We uncover illegal aliens and extradite them. Stories. Darling, I could be behind your neck without you realizing it. What makes you think I actually need permission to enter a building? Which is why I've been coming here in the first place. We keep getting tips that there have been alien sightings around this cafe. Speaking of which, have you noticed anything out of the ordinary, young man? I can't say that I have. I don't come here all that often. But it's always seemed very above board to me. Very above board to me. Why are you threatening people on Tomodachi, Mr. High? Are you sure the tips aren't a prank? It seems that young people enjoy those as a pastime. There are very popular videos of them. Online. That maybe it is, but I still have to investigate properly. Otherwise my superiors will have my head on a platter. But you can't waste your time on a cold trail either. Surely your superiors will see what you've done your best. I doubt that. They're a bit obsessed with the alien situation. Obsessed? Is it really that big an issue? Well, having such unusual elements around disturbs the public peace. Your average Joe has no clue what to make of them, you know. It makes people feel unsettled. I see. Although the visible aliens aren't too bad from where I'm standing. At least we can identify and extract them. Aliens who try to pass for Earthlings are a bigger problem. Why so? For one, it just muddles things, no matter how much they try to look like Earthlings. But they were born aliens, and aliens they will remain. But now they're aliens who don't look like aliens. What does that mean, you know? What does that mean, you know? And where does it stop? What if some Earthlings decide they want to look like aliens? That would be a huge mess. So what? A lot of people don't know. Wait. Anyway, the top brass insists that we go after them. And in the end, that makes my job a lot harder. All that time spent detecting them. Give me a good spacesuit wearing alien any day, you know. Oh, but don't you worry about a thing. We at Fire always find a way to keep the public safe. No, you don't. No, you don't. I see. So how do you go about detecting them? Exactly. That one's easy. Once I have my suspicions, I check their ID. That makes it all clear, right? Right. I do wonder though. What is it? And I'm sorry if I'm being too curious. I have a habit of putting my foot in my mouth. No, you're good. No harm in asking. In that case, what is it that makes aliens so very different? There are all sorts of people living here. They all have different personalities, different looks. And for me, when I walk through the streets of Seattle, and I see that no two people are alike, I admit that it makes me very happy. So if someone comes from further away, but they feel an earthling at heart, would they really be more different from the people who live in the city? Then the people in the city are different from each other? Or would they rather hold on. No reason. Or would they just be another version of an earthling? Perhaps no less beautiful. At the end of the day, who the heck knows? It's not like I can afford to spend time pondering it. I don't have a dog in this fight, so to speak. The thing is the law, and my job is to uphold it. Right? But despite everything you said, it's still unclear to me why the law is so stringent against aliens. Well, it's not so much that the law is stringent against them. It's more that there's no law for them. How do you mean? Well, at this point, we have treaties and codes for all the races we know of, right? But we never made a treaty with aliens or anything resembling it. There's no law even acknowledging their existence. Oof, I didn't know that. But why is that a problem? That's easy. We have no way to regulate their presence. There has been no thorough analysis of how they can cohabitate with Earthlings. As I said, it's all very confusing. For all we know, they could be very damaging to us. So it feels safer to keep them away, at least for now. Safer for whom? It is what it is. I'm not afraid of aliens myself, and going after them is not my biggest passion. But since I'm doing this job, might as well aim for a promotion. Anyhow, just call us at fire if you spot any aliens, alright? You seem like an honest sort, unlike some other people. Some other people who should learn to be more straightforward if they want their business to stay in business. Oh, are you threatening me? Oh, whoa. Ugh. Uh-oh, she's going to jump out. I was thinking out loud because a lot of things happened lately, so I was just processing it. So as if it was insensitive. Ugh. What was that? This coffee machine seems to have restarted now. That's a relief. Right. I think I'm still going to conduct a search of the premises, just to be in the safe. Meow! What the heck is this? If I'm not mistaken, this is a local cat. It's come over once before. Looks like it might be hiding from another stray. It's very cute. Good kitty. Meow. I think it likes you. What sort of place is this? With your fitty machine and your weird pets. And now it looks like I have an emergency elsewhere. Well, I guess you're off the hook for now, you and your cafe. But make sure I don't get such reports about you anymore. We will try our best, Mr. Agent. Trying to threaten me and my business, bitch. I'll shove a dildo down your throat. Silver, you're trembling. That's alright. You can come out now, I think, Amanda. Well, we found this experience 100% distasteful. Actually, it was 40.235 distasteful, 20.834% scary, and 39.931% exciting. Ha! I apologize. This is just nerves. We are truly sorry for this disturbance. It's not your fault at all. But should you be sticking around here? The agent might come back. No. I lured him away, at least for now. You did? Although it's a good thing the little cat came in when it did. It bought us some precious minutes. What sort of earthling are you? Meow. We see. Do you speak cat? We can feel this earthling's intent better than usual. It's expressing it clearly. It wishes to rest and be left alone. Oof. I feel all out of sorts. Is the machine really working again? It is, indeed. Then make us a drink, and one for Silver as well. The same one should be fine for both. Just make it hot, comforting, and what would you like, sibling? I think I need some sweetness right now. I would really appreciate a hot, very sweet, very comforting drink. A hot, very sweet, very comforting drink. I actually want to get this one. A hot, very sweet. A hot, very sweet, and very comforting drink. Blue pea, milk, and and ginger is apparently a gala tea. Chocolate, honey, honey. Here you go, plenty of sweetness in this. This tastes amazing. Thank you, Nutboss. This really is my kind of drink. It is very thick, is it not? The viscosity of this seems to be nearing 10,000 CPS. We like how different this experience is from the drink you served us the other night. I'm impressed though, Silver. You've become quite savvy at navigating these situations. Even if I'm sure you'd rather avoid them altogether. Yes, I would definitely prefer to avoid them. But I need to get used to them anyway. Why? The agent doesn't know you've come from outer space. Surely you should be off the hook for now. It's more complicated than that. Nutboss, you know the cafe I said I'm opening? Yes. Well, it's not exactly like this cafe. In fact, not exactly a cafe at all. For the past few months, it's been the basis of operations for SAVE. SAVE? SAVE, Society for Aliens and Various Extraterrestrials. Wow. I know, it sounds very reckless. No, it sounds rather admirable. I think I underestimated you. I don't know. But you see why I have had to become savvy. As you said, a lot of people depending on me now. Those who are just arriving to Earth are confused and scared. Those who have adopted Earthling appearances are trying to blend in. Those who are learning how to understand life here, and how to understand themselves, for all of them, is an existential matter. Not everyone is meant to be a hive mind. I know I wasn't. No offense, Amanda. We are not offended. We have always known you were different from us. It's all the same to us. You are our sibling, whether you live as the hive or as an Earthling. Amanda, I really do love you. What is love? Fucking Amanda. What is love? Why is this so funny? It's too funny. That is not a conversation I think I can have right now. I'll explain it to you tomorrow, okay? After we both have rest. We will remind you of it. We will remind you of it. I know you will. I think I'm getting a little tired now. Is it alright if we go back? Absolutely! Our energy is also 98.429% depleted! So... Amanda, it's so chaotic. It's insanity. It's literally Neil on 10 times a bigger level. Neil and Silver is the same person. But it's now Silver. When we first met, it was Neil. It was, oh my goodness, it was so funny. Is there anything we can do to help? I don't know why I say we. Why would I say we? It should be I, because I'm the only, as far as I know, the only employee and the only worker and the only owner of this cafe shop. So I don't know why I say we. No, I don't think so. Thank you for offering, really. But I have a different part to play in all of this. And you've been playing it very well. You're very kind. Well, in that case, have a good night, the two of you, and please come again soon. You'll always be welcome here. Us and many others. We know, and we're grateful. Good night, Napas. I'd say good night to the cat, but I don't think it needs my wishes. Good night, Napas. See, now we can use good night. Now we can use good night. We find it rather odd that maybe we should continue this chat while we walk. All right. Man, I'm too tired to be laughing at this. What a night. It's been a great deal more animated than it should be I. Then I'm gonna, every time we say we, I'm gonna say I now. Then I bargained for. I suppose we have a new four-legged friend now. Okay, I'll say we then. Wonder what you're doing here, little one. Don't you have a home? Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. Meow. Mew. Ah, well, I guess it's time for you to let me close the shop. But Silver, it's an honor to be related to someone like you. It's an honor to be related to someone like you? Oh? Oh, whoa? Tuesday, September 26, 2023. The Evening Whispers. First Workaholics Treatment Center to open in 2024. No phone, no laptop, just rest. Beachgoers report silver algae blooming on Alki Beach. Curbing recent security breaches. Government to block data leakers' websites. Citizen data. And this is to stop. Lol E2. Okay, I am going to save it there, and I'm going to end this episode. But man, that was funny. I got a reality shock for myself. I got a very freaking funny encounter, and a scary one at that. Learned a lot about myself, and learned a very good thing to learn from this game. So, anyway, I'm going to be ending it there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later. Goodbye.